good weather. Hopefully, it's that way for you where you're at. Where we're at, it is absolutely gorgeous today. Not too hot, not too cold. Blue skies, a little bit of clouds in the sky here and there. It's just going to be a gorgeous weekend in Southern California. Another great weekend in Southern California. If
Wait a minute. What are you, a weatherman now?
You like that, huh?
Peter the Meter?
I am Peter the Meter, baby. That's right. I'm your weatherman. That's right. It's like Weather Girls. I'm your weather man.
My goodness.
Yes. You like the way I introduced that? Yeah. You know?
That was pretty fly.
Pretty fly. Not bad, right? Wait till the next introduction that I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, the sports guy or the human interest guy. But right now, it's the weather story. I did weather for a long time. You know that.
Whether I know it or not?
Whether you know it or not, you stole my thunder. Ha, ha, ha. Think I could let that one slide without another weather joke? Yes, that's right. Sort of like a hurricane. Wasn't there a song like that, the Supremes? Oh, no, Martha and the Vandellas? No, that was Heat Wave. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. Heat Wave. Okay, so since we are talking about it, it's just going to be a great weekend this weekend.
That's what she said last night.
It is, that's what she says every night. Too bad I disappoint her. Anyway, what can I tell you? The internet has got me. I'm in love with the internet. That's the worst thing to do is to be in love with the internet.
Okay.
What? What?
We got to do something about that, the wig. Your hair.
I'm telling you, you think I was joking. About 3 weeks ago,
I'm
ladies and
taking you
gentlemen.
to my barber. Marty will hook you up.
Look,
Marty will hook you up.
okay, 3 weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, I found out 4 weeks ago that.
No, it's been more like 6 weeks.
Has
now.
it been 6 weeks now?
Seems like it.
I'm a man without a barber.
No, that's
and I don't know what
you
to
just
do.
won't slow down. You got to go take care of it.
No, here's the thing. I don't trust anybody. I have a real trust issue with barbers.
Yeah, I understand.
I have a real, the last time this happened, I was 27 years old, right?
Okay.
And my barber, Angelo, he disappeared, retired, right? I'd gone to him since I was 13.
Okay.
So, when he left my life, and he
Poor you.
he broke my heart. I sat on his doorstep in his stoop, and I was really
devastated.
Devastated at 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My nose runs for you.
So I went for 5 years without cutting my hair. 5 years.
That's a long
5
time.
years. I was looking kind of cool. In fact, there's a picture of me on the website, the website you don't know about. It's a www.jesset.net, jesset.net, and the photo section of my hair when it was really long. I had it back in a ponytail.
Oh.
The whole 9 yards. So I went for 5 years.
Thing, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was really long. I went, it was down to well below my shoulders. And so it was so long I could bun it up on top like Fu Manchu style, You're right?
Yeah.
I mean, so 5 years. And so my family got tired of me having long hair. And I tried to go to different places.
You tried?
Yeah, I walked in. I made appointments. I went to the supercut places of the time. I went to the private barbers. And every time I sat down in the chair, I had an emotional breakdown. Angelo, man, my Angelo.
Poor fella.
And so I didn't get my hair cut. So finally, in 1992, I was 32 years old.
Yeah.
And Sharon was found for me, and I was told and demanded to go to Shocky's in Burbank on Magnolia and get my hair cut or not come home. I was told to go.
She's not there anymore.
So I went there.
Retired.
32 years old, right? Now
Right.
I'm 55. So quick math, what is that? 23 years,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
23 years I've been getting my hair cut by Sharon and nobody else. And so I walked in there 12 weeks ago to get my hair cut, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she told me she was retiring.
Wow.
That she sold her house down the street, around the corner. and that she was moving to Memphis, Tennessee,
That's not good.
and that she sold her business to this young lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that she assured me that everything would be okay and everything would be wonderful. And that's the first time in 23 years when I sat in the barber's chair, I didn't have much to say.
That's pretty bad, man. I'm sorry.
And so when I left, she said, "Well, you going to come back?" And I said, yeah, I'm going to come back. Yeah, I'll meet the new girl, right? So I came back, kind of the passing of the keys from the old proprietor to the new proprietor, right?
Right.
And I said, okay, well, you can cut my hair. It's about 4 weeks after that fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of sat down in the chair, and she put the thing around me, right?
Yeah.
Barber style, not fancy hairstyle
Right.
style. I'm not into that stuff,
Right.
right?
Old-fashioned barber
style,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's the way I roll also.
Right. And so I just had to get up, and I'm sorry. I gave her a tip, and I walked out, and I haven't been back. I'm a man without a barber, and it's Sharon's fault. And I don't know what to do with myself. So I'm just going to let my hair grow again for another 5 years.
No. You need therapy.
Come on, what's wrong with it?
No. You need a new barber, that's all. I'm going to take you over to Marty.
Okay.
Marty will hook you up.
Will Marty hook me up?
Yeah, you'll like Marty.
Well, he'll cut my hair the way I like it?
Whatever way you want it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How much Marty's okay? Like $20 or something?
$20, yeah.
That's about the going rate now.
Yeah. I give him 20 and a 5.
Right?
Yeah.
So Marty's all right. Huh?
Yeah, I like him. He's a nice guy.
Barber, not the fancy,
it's old
wait
barber.
there, you're receptionist like
No,
in West
no,
LA,
no,
right? West
no.
LA, you go in there, you
No,
have
it's a barber
wine
shop.
and cheese and
No, no foo-foo.
Yeah, come on.
No foo-foo.
Right?
It's a real barber shop.
It is a real barber shop.
Absolutely.
See, that's what
It's
I
a
like.
man's cave.
See, look at Sharon was a woman, but it still was a man's cave over there.
Yeah, I understand.
Because she was like, she could talk about
she was
anything.
down with it, yeah.
She could talk about, everything.
That's cool. I like her. I like her too.
But I have no barber. So, yesterday when I did the show, what, you didn't like my yesterday's hairdo?
Well, you did a little something to it before you went on the air. A little something. I don't know what it was.
I was looking like a crazy man, wasn't I?
Ooh, the Nutty Professor.
I was looking like a crazy man. That's absolutely right. I was looking like a crazy man yesterday, but then it doesn't look too bad. Look at it. It's kind of got this kind of cool look on www.thepowervoices.com. Check out my hairdo.
Kind of a shaggy dog.
Yeah,
look.
it's kind of, long bangs and kind of, someone told me I look like Jackson Brown the other night. Jackson Brown, And I said, well, yeah, maybe Neil Young when he was younger, because I got that long stringy hair. And I'm not using hairspray anymore. When hair gets really long, and you can't use hairspray because then your hair looks like a block of rock, like Steven Seagal, right?
Right.
It's just like it's painted on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't use
Like
hairspray.
a helmet.
Yeah, when your hair is long. So I'm just kind of cruising around and okay, we'll go to Marty.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt your mindset and
That's okay. We're talking about good things today.
yeah.
And getting a haircut for me is a good thing.
That is yeah.
I need a haircut.
Yeah, you do.
And I did the weather in a good way.
You did. It was
you
kind
know?
of entertaining.
Right. And so now people who, like in West Virginia, who I was on the phone with West Virginia people, they're having floods.
Ooh.
They're
They don't
having
wanna talk
mountains
about
slide
water.
down. They got water coming out of water in West Virginia. Right?
Yeah, they got
27 people passed away in a flash flood.
Yeah, you got to
I'm
watch
gonna-
those dams.
Those dams.
Damn dams.
I'll tell you, it's terrible when you drive across that dam. Yeah.
Damn right.
Damn right. The dam is always right. Those dams are always right. Damn. Okay. You can check us out on our Facebook platforms, and we have something new going on here at thepowervoices.com. Instead of going over to YouTube Live, which you still can, or YouTube, you can go right to the Facebook page of The Power Voices, right? The Power Voices.
Right.
And what is that? www.facebook.com/the Power Voices. Power Voices? Right? What is that?
What? Do that one again?
www.facebook.com/Power Voices.
Yeah, just leave off the www because sometimes you do 3, sometimes you do 4.
I know. My W's.
Just Facebook.com/the power.
You've noticed that, right?
.com, yeah.
I notice it too, but my mouth just keeps going.
Yeah,
and it can't stop.
And it's not you. I count all the W's when people say it. Sometimes some people only do 2. www.
Right. Yeah.
Or www. So just,
well, I usually go more.
Yeah.
It's not less with me.
Right. Yeah.
I go
right.
always more. Yeah.
But just
right.
Facebook.com/the power of voices.
Tony Cox is joining us. Hey, Tony, what's
Hey,
happening? Tony, baby. Tony. And Lady Lalaine Medina Reed. Wow.
All right.
That is a long name.
Yeah, it is.
A long name. Lady Lalaine Medina Reed. Anyway, go to Facebook.com/Power of Voices or The Power of Voices. Okay. Facebook.com/The Power of Voices, right?
Yeah,
and
you got it.
And we go Facebook Live right now. Bing, bing, bing.
It's on. It's live.
Just like that.
On your page and the power of
ATV
voices. Yeah.
Live,
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment Channel at www.facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. What do you think about that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, right. See, that's the thing. You can't tell me not to do something because you know in a short period of time I'm
You're
going to
gonna
do it anyway.
How do I know?
I have no idea. You probably put the word out on me and got all those 43 program directors that fired me, and you got a dossier file on me.
So look at this guy. You know this guy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was just me whistling in the thing because I try to wear one headphone off my ear and one headphone on my ear. Otherwise, I start sounding too much like a radio personality, like a radio voice, and I don't sound like myself. Anyhow, okay, so I'm going to get my hair cut at some point. Lee's going to take me over to Marty, and Marty's going to cut my hair, and I'm going to try not to walk out. And hopefully Marty will cut my hair.
And we're going to strap you in the chair. Put a red ball in your mouth.
Wait a minute. Is this Pulp Fiction? What are you talking about? What are you? Yeah. Gee, thanks, man. God,
Can you see that, folks?
I could see that. Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Oh, that was that.
Marty, go.
Right. Sitting in the barber chair, right? Strapped S&M style with a red ball in my mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live on Facebook.
That's right. Gee, thanks. You're going to cut this boy's hair. And cut this long Spanish-Italian boy's hair. What's wrong
Make
with
him
you?
look human again.
God. Oh, my God.
I have to admit that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. What character did you always think you were in Pulp Fiction when you saw that movie? Which character kind of represented you, or the character you wanted to be in that movie? Because, when we see movies, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I say, yeah, that's me. Or, yeah, I could be that guy. That's kind of cool.
I wanted to be, what was the guy, what did they call him? The guy that came up, the cleanup guy?
Oh, Harvey
The cleaner.
Keitel.
I wanted to be
he was called the Fixer.
the fixer.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was the
that-
cool dude.
That's me. I wanted to
Yeah.
be the fixer.
Now
I
look-
definitely didn't want to be the guy that got his head blown off.
Poor guy. Poor
He
guy.
made a mess.
Yeah, God, he made a mess.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad. But the Fixer, Harvey Keitel,
Yeah.
what a great
Yeah.
part that was,
Yeah.
know? And he was fast.
Yeah, he was.
Come in, sit down, make a cup of coffee, put the coffee on, get the sheets, sits in the bed. Yeah. So
The Fixer.
your wife, you like bedroom furniture? Yeah, I like yeah. I like oak myself. I like the texture oak.
Yeah.
You like oak? Your wife likes oak? Yeah, she likes oak. Yeah, oak is good. Yeah. Tell you what, your wife and you'd like a whole bedroom set? My guy, I'll take care of that.
Got it.
Got it, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. That Quentin Tarantino played that part.
That's right, yeah.
And he played it masterfully.
He did.
Compared the opposite of Harvey Keitel, right?
Yeah,
What are you going to do
absolutely.
when a guy walks in your house like that? And
Pay
he's
attention.
Pay attention. And he's a fixer.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention. Look at you, don't want to pay attention, right? I love that line in
yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
I'll just go and
Got to do it.
Got to do it. Just great stuff. So you see, we're talking about good stuff, and I like that. I liked Harvey Keitel, but I also liked, I believe it or not, I also liked what was the guy that oh, come on, man. What was his name? Now,
What did he
Samuel Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was awesome.
I loved the
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I loved his part.
I like the part when they were in the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that part was great. That part, was that the significant part?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that chick, I thought she was going to
Tell
piss on
them,
herself.
biatch, to sit down and shut up. Right? I mean, that part was there. That was my favorite part, and the other favorite part was just those two guys walking away.
Yeah.
When they got up from the restaurant and they walked away so cool, right? And John Travolta is doing the John Travolta
Yeah,
walk, right?
little swag.
Right, little swag. And Samuel Jackson's just walking cool, right? They walk out the door, right? The little things like that is what I really relate to in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But
those are moments.
Those are the moments. Anyhow, okay, so that was a good thing. So today we're talking about good things. So because it's a weekend and it's going to be a great weekend for everybody, and so we might as well talk about things that are going to get you going in the right direction this weekend. Sometimes I get really heavy. Like yesterday, I was kind of all over the map yesterday.
No, it's good though.
I
enjoyed
was
it.
just like,
Yeah.
I was blazing yesterday.
Yeah, you were at home and you were
Yeah.
comfortable. And,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
was. I was
yeah.
at home and I was comfortable.
Yeah,
And I had 4 popsicles.
4?
4. I had a cherry, an orange, a lime, and a bubble gum. Popsicle. All in order. Just like that.
Some kids never grow
No,
up.
it was terrible. Then I had some Tang, some lemonade, and fruit punch.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that day.
Some Tang. They still
Tang.
make Tang.
Oh, I love Tang.
They still make
Yeah,
that?
it was. Hey, come on. The spacemen
here.
used it. That's where it came from. Tang. I love Tang.
I didn't think they made it
Yeah,
anymore.
you
I haven't
freeze
seen
Tang
it.
a little bit up a little bit, but not too hard in the freezer. Just freeze it, make
Yeah,
it go
yeah.
crunchy, crispy, slushy. Got a slushy Tang,
Yeah.
right? And fruit
Yeah.
punch too.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend that had a slushy Tang.
Yeah. well,
I didn't think it would break you up that
where
much.
Where did I get this guy? I mean,
I was just walking down the street and looking kind of lost.
looking for your girlfriend with a
Looking for
slushy
this-
Tang.
Yeah, there you go. Miss Boom Shakalaka.
Oh Lord, help me! Oh my God! Oh God, slushy.
Jesse,
Well, actually, though,
Jesse,
that would be kind of cool. What?
this is God.
Yes, God.
There's no help for you. It's over, son. Don't come see me. Go see the other guy.
Oh, come on, God. Just let me come up in there. Just tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Come on. Just let me pass St. Peter.
You can't
come
make
on.
a deal
I got a deal for you, God.
with
I got a deal for you.
God.
I got a deal for you. Tell you what, God. I tell you what. I'll handle all the stuff you don't want to handle up there in heaven, okay? Just let me up there. I'll make sure everybody goes the right place. I'll make sure everybody talks the right talk. I'll make sure everybody does the right thing for you. I'll be like your liaison to the ones that are difficult up in heaven. Because in heaven, you got some difficult ones, right, God? So come on now.
No.
You got to let me in, come on.
No.
Right?
No.
All right, well, let me make you another deal. This deal, tell you what, I know you like burritos, so I'll make sure you have a burrito in the morning and a burrito in the evening and a burrito in the afternoon. I know, burritos, God, I'll make sure that you have a burrito in your hand every day. How about that, God? Come on now, just let me in. It's all right. I'm a good guy, Look what I did down there on earth. I did all that good stuff, yeah? Right? No? Yes?
No.
Okay, God, this is it. I'm just going to get a chair and sit at the pearly gates forever. That's it. You're going to let me in.
As long as you're on the outside.
Looking in?
That's it.
Jesus, God, I'm only 10 minutes away. Just 10 minutes. Just
I'll
10
let
minutes.
you know when the time has come. But for now, it's no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you got the word from God. I'm not going to heaven, and I'm going to hell. Well, actually, hell's not a bad place, though, when you think about it. There's really isn't that bad. You get to run around naked, and you can be a devil. You can be a rascallion. You can.
Did I see you doing a video at like 4 or 5 o'clock this morning? What were you doing? Where were you? when I talked to you last night, you were going to bed.
I know. I woke up.
And you had to go out and do a live broadcast in
yes.
3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
What's the matter, you?
I had to, I'm trying to, I got bored.
Wow.
And so I decided to go water the lawn.
Yeah, right.
And do a video while I was watering the lawn, and I was bored.
No, that looked like more like a nightclub or something there. Didn't look like you were watering the lawn.
Look, Lee. Look, you're going to get me in trouble, okay?
Oh
yeah,
I'm sorry.
That was not supposed to be for general knowledge. I was supposed to, that was like on the fly, right?
You better start texting me and let me know what I need to say. Shit, because I'm, me, I'm an honest Abe over here. And listen, if it's on social media, I figured I could talk about it.
Oh, it was on social media?
Yeah.
I hit the live button?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you were
live.
live.
I didn't hit the live button.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was just a recorded button, not the live button.
What's the difference?
Well, it's supposed to just be recorded for my stuff. That wasn't supposed to the live button.
Well, I saw it. Did I not see it? Did you have a hat on?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you. Mm-hmm. It was live. I saw it in a replay because I saw it around 6 a.m.
Do you think Marty has a place for me to sleep tonight?
Well, I tell you what, you can try this.
What?
You can say, honey, I didn't know it. I was sleepwalking.
I used to sleep talk, but I never sleepwalked.
I'd rather walk and not talk.
Oh, no. It was terrible. I learned
because talking, you could.
I got myself in trouble.
Oh yeah,
talking.
Yeah. I'd rather be a walker, not a talker.
All right, so this is all good stuff as we have fun today, just meandering along on a Friday afternoon from 5 to 6, and not making much sense of anything, but just kind of enjoying ourselves profusely here. But there are some good things to think about in terms of the country. We talk about a lot of tough and difficult things. And, of course, with the English thing that's happening over there in Europe and the EU and the Brexit, they are gone. They're not going to participate anymore in the EU. And the ramifications of that, of course, the global economic meltdown that's happening. Oh, it's just a bunch of phooey because it's all going to come back here in the next couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, and everything will be fine, and they'll figure it all out, and it'll all work out great. But it is sort of a demarcation, kind of a mark, a line in the sand of what could possibly be over the next 25 years in terms of globalization and nations that are autonomous unto their own and not part of a larger group. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But Trump was in Scotland today talking about that, and he was looking quite presidential in Scotland at his golf course today.
That wasn't him. That was a double.
That was a double trouble Trump, huh?
No, that was a fake.
Well, I'll tell you something. Whoever the fake was, they schooled him well because he was looking quite presidential.
Well, that's definitely not double.
Well, that just goes to show you the brilliance of the man. That he could pull that off. That actually goes to show you the brilliance of his campaign because, being the wild, crazy man he was for the last year, now he's starting to tailor back, as we predicted he would, because you move to the center. You all have to move to the center because that's really where Americans are, in the center. Most Americans, except for the nutcases over on the left and the nutcases over on the right. So, I didn't see Hillary Clinton do too much on her diatribe or her monologue about what was happening in Europe. I didn't get a lot of that. I tuned into CNN to try to see what was going on there. But, it's all good because it shows that the people of those countries still have something to say about the direction that their country is going in. And that's a good thing when you think about that government and the corporate aristocracy doesn't own everything and everybody all the time. And they can get caught a little shortchanged. And I think perhaps they were thinking it was going to go another way, but they got caught a little shortchanged. And so now we all go off into another direction. So there's lots of good things happening around when you start really looking. There's lots of good things that are happening in our country, and in your neighborhood, in your state, in your county, and in your families as we progress ahead and in that respect. When you start trying to look at the good things, I think you have to start right at the beginning of what's happening good for you in your life at the moment. And I call it the serendipities of life. The serendipities of life are really interesting because they come at you in a good way when you least expect them and when you most need them. And if you think about your experience over this last week, what serendipities came your way that you least expected would in perhaps a turmoil time of your day, something good, small, but happened, which allows you then to solve your problem or your issue or your challenge. That's called a serendipity of life. And it comes as easily as I saw a video on the internet early this morning, and there's a lady who was driving a motorcycle, got stuck in traffic in one of the lanes, and she couldn't get her motorcycle started, and there was this big, huge semi-truck behind her, and he had his camera, because all these corporate semis now, they're loaded up with cameras because you got to make sure, that the drivers are abiding by the rules and not overdriving their time and this sort of stuff. So anyway, the poor lady couldn't get over to the other side of the freeway because all the cars were zooming by and nobody would slow down. So this truck driver kind of used his 18-wheeler, 80,000-pound truck as a wall, and he inched his way over and then waved the lady over and on her motorcycle and inched another lane and did the same thing. And that's called a serendipity in her life. She had something good happen that she least expected, and in a very dramatic and serious and dangerous situation that could have cost her life. Somebody came out of nowhere and just helped her out with no rhyme or no reason, just because it was the right thing to do. So when you think about your daily routine and you look back on the day, what good things happened to you today that has made your day a little bit better? Last night, I was out kind of late, as my illustrious pal here, told on me. Yeah, that's right. Hey, don't worry about it. Look at, I got some guys, okay? So don't worry about it. But, he's kind of snitched on me, I wanted to get a lemonade. And so I went out to Jack in the Box, and they didn't have any lemonade left. And I went over to McDonald's, and they didn't have any lemonade left. So I went over to Del Taco, and they didn't have any lemonade left. In fact, I was in a city that I think they outlawed lemonade. I think that it's the great city of the lemonade ban, because I couldn't find lemonade anywhere. I even went to 7-Eleven. They didn't have any lemonade. I just wanted a lemonade to drink. That's all I wanted, with ice, right? So I finally went to a Jack in the Box, another one, and they didn't have any lemonade. And then, so I ordered something else, and they kind of felt so bad for me that they gave me the little thing that I ordered for free. It was only a couple of bucks, right? But they felt so bad that they didn't have a lemonade for me, and I told them the plight of my story of that I was traveling around in the dark night of a Thursday evening in Southern California in my car, the Great Ghost. The Gray Ghost and I were just roaming the streets looking for lemonade. And, I went to place and was turned away and turned back and with frowny faces. And they felt sorry for me, or they liked my story. So they gave me the little $2 item that I was going to get to eat for free. And I tried to give them $2, but they wouldn't take it. That's a serendipity of life. Just a cute, fun little thing that takes place here in your life that you least expect and happens in a positive, good way and makes you feel better and feel like, something good went on. How many times have you needed to have a few bucks and you had no access to any money, and then all of a sudden somebody comes through your day, a friend or a workmate or someone, says, oh, here's a couple of bucks. Don't worry about it, right? So these are called serendipities of life, and we all have them. So look upon yourself during the day and ask yourself through the week, what good things in that way have made my life special? special and unique and have brightened my day just a little bit that I was least expecting. Because we all expect the bad stuff. We all expect the nasty stuff to happen. Hey, saying hi to Eddie Kino. Eddie Kino used to be known as La Flavor, one of the greatest disc jockeys here in Los Angeles. He was one of my guys at the High Energy Show at 1580 K-Day, live from the Casa Camino Real. He was like the managing crew member of my 5 guys, and he made sure that we got all the music right and all the DJs that wanted to try out at the Casa. And Eddie Kino, now he's known as DJ Eddie. Thanks, Eddie, for tuning in with us. Love seeing you and seeing that you're chiming in. And you can do that at www.thepowervoices.com. And we have a website now. Our website automatically sends this live broadcast visually and in a radio format as well to facebook.com/thepowervoices.com. And we simultaneously broadcast at AVTV Live on the Facebook Live platform on the digital network that we provide here as we broadcast our show there as well. So we're getting it in 2 places at the same time, or I can say 1 place at 2 places at the same time. So we're doubling up on that audience, and we appreciate you joining us. So talking about the good things that happen in life, the good things that take place that you least expect. When I think about that, I think about great stories I've heard. You know, some are parables, some are just stories, inspirational stories that you hear about as you read and you follow different people. And there's one story that always was a story that was impactful because it said something really important about being inspirational and positive and looking at things from out of the box kind of point of view. I'm sure you've all heard it, but I'll talk about it real quick. It's a quick little story about a young boy who was traveling along the beach, and he's traveling along with his father, and they were walking the beach, and they saw all these lobsters or these sand crabs and all these shellfish that were on the beach crawling up as the tide set, and he's thousands and thousands and thousands of these crabs and seashells or sand-shelled fish that are on the beach, kind of walking around as the tide set. And there was this one man who was walking towards them, and he was bending down and he was picking up one crab at a time and tossing it back into the ocean as far as he could throw it. And so the little boy with his father walked up to him, and they were watching him, and the father had said, what are you throwing all those crabs for back in the ocean? And the man said, well, I come out here every day, and that's what I do. And I throw these crabs, as many as I can, while the tide is low, because they live in the seawater. That's where they should be, and they shouldn't be exposed like this. And so the man says to, come on, it's a fruitless thing that's happened for hundreds of years. I mean, you can't save them all. And so the little boy's looking at this conversation taking place between these two men, and as the man finishes that thought, you can't save them all. The fellow who was throwing the crabs back in the ocean, he looks back at the little boy and the man, and he says, yeah, that's very true. I can't save them all. And he reaches down and he picks this one up and he says, but I can save this one. And he throws it back into the ocean. And that's a really poignant story, because it tells you that your efforts as a person, you may not be able to save the world. You may not be able to save your state or your county or your whole neighborhood, or you may not be able to change everything and fix everything, but you can fix one thing at a time. Just one thing at a time. And when you do that and you take that sort of mentality about stuff, one step at a time. Yeah, but I can fix this one. I can save this one's life. When you do that, it adds up, and others see you and emulate you and learn by your actions, and then others are saving one at a time. And pretty much what happens is you're saving millions at a time. So the story exemplifies the fact that no matter what people say, no matter what happens to you in your life, no matter what you talk about, no matter what terrible and rotten and bad things that seem to be bestowing upon you every day, you can always look at that and say, I can do one good thing every day, one positive thing to making a change in my life. And if I do enough of those through the day and through the week and through the month and through the year, my life will change. And that talks about being and doing the right thing, being good, something good that happens. Goodness comes out of good actions. Good actions come from a good soul and a good understanding and a good ideology of how to change yourself and change the world. And that's one of the important parts of that story that I think stick with you. So as the serendipities of your life happen every day, where something good happens, you find your wallet that you thought you lost, you find your phone that you thought you lost, it's been disappeared for 2 days, and all of a sudden it's right there stuck in the seat behind you, and you'd never thought to look there. Or you find your watch, you take your watch off and you put it on your bed set there before you go to bed at night, and you wake up in the morning, the watch is gone, and you're huffing and puffing at everybody. Who took my watch? Where's my watch? And what's going on with all this? And did someone take my watch? And you leave the house in a bad mood because now you don't have your watch. And a couple, 2-3 days go by, and you find out that the watch actually fell into your pillowcase that night while you were tossing and turning, and it's in your pillowcase, the least place you would expect it to be, but there it is, it drops out, and you're happy. See, that's a serendipity in life, something good that takes place that you were least expecting to happen. So you want to thank God and be thankful for that good thing that happens. It reminds me of another story in terms of that, and it's about a guy. This is an interesting story. About a guy who always said, "This is good." It's an old story, and it comes out of Africa, and it has to do with a king of one of those many African tribes who had a close friend who grew up with him, and they spent a whole lifetime together. And the friend, of course, wasn't the king, but the friend had a habit of every time a situation came up, every time he looked at it, no matter whether it was good or bad, positive or negative, he always remarked, "This is good." And so one day this African king, he says to his friend, they're out hunting, "Would you hand me that rifle? Because I want to shoot this particular animal, and I need this rifle." So the friend who handles all his ammunition and loading and cartridges and all that stuff dealing with firearms hands him the rifle. And unfortunately, he handed him the wrong rifle, and the wrong bullets were in the wrong rifle. And when that happens, most of the time, rifles and handguns, they explode in your hand. And that's what happened to the king. And he lost his thumb. And so with that, he got really upset at his long-life friend. It didn't matter to him. And he just got really upset because his friend said, when he looked at him, he said, "Well, this is good," because the guy always said, "This is good." And King replied, "No, this is not good." And he threw him in jail for a little bit of time there. And about a year later, the king was out hunting in an area that he should have known not to be. He should have known not to be in this area because cannibals lived in the area, so they captured him. And, they beat him up, and they tied him to a stake, and they basically going to have not barbecued chicken or barbecued ribs, but barbecued breasts or barbecued legs. They were going to have barbecued king. And that was on the meal tonight, barbecued king. In fact, the tribe sent it out in a flash internet smoke signal to all the tribes around. "We got fresh king for you tonight." That's right, king fresh. It's guaranteed to make your heart go pitter-pat. Yes, come get the barbecued king. And so they tied him to a stake and lit a fire on him, about to really make that fire happen. And as they did, one of the guys saw that the king on his hand was missing a thumb. And in their spirituality and their superstitious way, that was a sign of an evil person, an omen. And so they untied the king and sent him on his way and threw him out of the village. And he walked home, and as he returned home, it reminded the king of this event where he lost his thumb, and so he felt really bad about it. So his cat is still in jail, and so he goes to jail, and he goes to spring him loose because only the king can do that. And he said, "You know something, you were right," to his friend. He said, "It was a good thing that my thumb was blown off." And he tells him the story, and the friend listens to it, and as he proceeds to tell the friend all that just happened, And so, he told him, I'm very sorry about sending you to jail for so long. It was really bad for me to do this. And no, his friend replied, this is good. What do you mean? The king says this is good. And he says, well, how could it be good that I sent my friend to jail, you, my friend, for a year? And so the friend said, well, if I had not been in jail, I would have been the one they eaten. So, you got to look at things in terms of finding the goodness in your actions. So as you go about your day at your job, at your school, at home, picking your family up members, having a great day this weekend, those crazy drivers in Los Angeles and in your town, wherever they may be, those nutty people that are stressed out and honking the horn and waving the flying fickle finger of fate, and you know what finger that is, at you, and doing all these crazy things and cutting in front of you in your line, and just say, it's good. There's good in everything in terms of that. And you've got to look for it sometimes, but not too far. It's the serendipities of life. And that's what's important to understand as you go through your life. There's goodness everywhere. How about the time, when you're driving your car home and you run out of gas and you don't have a gas can and it's getting to be night and you got to walk and walk and walk. The gas station is 2-3 miles away from you. And you don't have any money in your pocket, right? So you get out of the car and you start walking. And you start walking, and you get to the gas station, and you only got a few bucks in your pocket, and that doesn't get you any gas from nowhere. And, there's a guy with a tow truck there. And he sees you walking, you see him, and he engages you, you engage him in conversation, and he says, well, where you at? Down there. And that guy says, don't worry about it. I got some gas in the tank. I'll give you some gas. And he gives you a couple gallons of gas to get back up to the gas station. Then you can put your $2-3 in gas in your car. Now you got $5-6 worth of gas. That happens. It's the serendipities of life. The good things that happen that you really don't take heed and really enjoy and really treasure in. Let's stop treasuring in the negative things of life and start treasuring in the good things of life, because that's really what makes life bearable, is the fact that there are positive notes that take place. We just have to look for them. Stallone has a saying that he talks about when he does any kind of speaking engagements, which is very rare. He used to do more when the Rocky series came out, and it was early, but one of the things he says is that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you're from, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter whether you're old, young, you look great, you don't look great, you're in shape, you're not, it makes no difference. The only thing that difference is, it doesn't even matter whether you can get up or whether you can't get up. The only thing that matters is, how well do you take a punch? How well do you take a punch? How well do you take that beating, and how do you recover from it? Are you the one that you take the punch and you take that beating? Are you the one that says, I can keep going forward, moving forward? Stallone talks about moving forward, always moving forward, no matter how you get punched and knocked down. You get up and you move forward. You keep moving forward. They teach that in the military. To constantly moving forward, advancing. And these are positive things to having a positive outcome. There's a great quote, there's a great series of quotes that Schwarzenegger talks about in terms of inspirational things. And one of the things he says, don't be afraid to be a rule breaker. Don't be afraid to be a rule breaker and step out and say, I know it's done this way, but I'm going to do it this way. Because this way is the way it should be done. And if I break the rule over here a little bit, and I can make something change and make something happen and bring some awareness to my cause, then that's what I'm going to do. So he talks about. And these are the good thoughts that get you on down the road in a good way. You got to shake it off and step up. That's really the key. There's a parable is told by a farmer who owned an old mule, and I love old mules. If you've never had a mule, if you've ridden a horse or a donkey, you understand that. But a mule is actually the most fascinating equine animal, because a mule is so powerful and so strong and so stubborn. But yet when they get on a job, a mule does not stop. I love those mules. So this mule fell into this farmer's well, and the farmer heard the mule, braying all day. And whatever mules do when they fall into a well, the mule was doing. And after carefully assessing the situation, the farmer felt sorry for the mule, but he decided that neither the mule nor the well was worth saving. Instead, he called his neighbors together and told them what had happened and asked them to help him haul dirt to bury the mule alive. It's an old mule anyway, in the well, and put him out of his misery. Take a shot and shoot him in the head and then bury the mule in the well. So initially, the old mule was hysterical, but as the farmer and his neighbors continued shoveling and throwing the dirt on the back of this mule, and a thought struck to the farmer in his brain, and it suddenly dawned on him that every time a shovel load of dirt landed on his back, he should shake it off and step up. So this is what the old mule did. Blow after blow, he shook off the dirt and he stepped up. Shake it off and step up. Shook off the dirt and stepped up. He repeated this to encourage himself. The mule was just doing this naturally. No matter how painful the blows or distressing the situation seemed, the old mule fought with panic and fervor and just kept right on shaking off the dirt and stepping up in the mule in the hole called a well. And you guessed it. It wasn't long before the old mule, battered and exhausted, stepped triumphantly over the wall of that well. Well, you figure it out. What seemed like it would bury the mule himself actually ended up a blessing for him, all because of the manner in which he handled his adversity. See, as the dirt was thrown on top of the mule, he'd shake off the dirt and stamp around. And as the dirt was thrown, and he'd stamp around, and the dirt was thrown, the well was being filled up by the dirt and being stamped down by the mule. And eventually, the complete well was stamped down with dirt, and the mule just walked right out of the well. See, that's what we talk about in terms of handling adversity and looking for the good in things, in the most desperate of situations, looking for that thing that allows you to be able to get out of your predicament, looking out of the box sometimes. And that's a great story because it shows you that your behavior and what you do often gives you the answer to where you should go. And when you connect that with the serendipities of life, and you add those good things together through a day, a week, a month, a year, a couple of years, you realize that, something? A lot of good things have happened for me. A lot of good things have come my way. A lot of good people have stepped up for me. A lot of nice people have stopped what they were doing to help me for no other reason than to help me. A lot of people have given me that break. So you realize that, really you have no right to say no one helps me. No one cares about me. No one has put their hand out and give me a shot or a break. It's just that you've forgotten. You don't realize and accentuate the goodness of what's happening to you, and you don't paint that as a brighter star than the badness or the evilness that happens to you. And we all do that. We all succumb to that. It seems to be a natural thing to look on the negative rather than to move on the positive. That's one of the things about life that I've learned in my short period of the double nickel, 55 years. I mean, that's one of the things that I've learned is that it's not always what's happening right now. It's not always what's happening at this moment. When I was younger, I always wanted things to happen. I thought I could push the envelope. I thought I could work harder than anybody else. I thought I could stay up longer. I thought I could work at 5 radio stations at once rather than 1. I thought I could do 3 different professions at once rather than 1. I thought I could have 26 girls going out with rather than 1. I thought I could have this and that and this and all at once. But I realized as you get older, sometimes it's better to just have a few things going on, to be able to focus on those things that are important, to be able to focus on the goodness of each one of those things and then move to the next thing. Sometimes it's good to take a step back And people look at me today and say, my, you are busy. I am nowhere near as busy today as I was 25 or 30 years ago. It's hard to believe when folks that are close to me, but I'm not. I can't stay up late anymore, all night, day after day. I used to sleep 3-4 days without sleep, and it was just no big deal. I can't do that anymore. So you start looking at your life in a way in which that you can do the best you can at the time that you're doing it, and work with what you got, but make what you got work. You see, that's the key. Working with what you got, but you got to make what you've got work. And if you can master that, you're going to be a happy camper. You're going to be a real happy person. Saying hi to David Hall, who's online with us. Thanks a lot. Lady Lelaine, hey, www.thepowerofvoices.com. Right here at AVTV Live and our digital broadcasting network at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Also now, we have a unique and new feature when you tune in to any live radio broadcast or any live video or TV and radio broadcast here at thepowerofvoices.com. We're on Facebook. And you just check into facebook.com/thepowerofvoices.com or go to our website. We're also on YouTube Live and many others. So that's something new and cool that we're playing around with. And we're also got some split screen stuff we're doing. We're going to be juicing this baby up here. You know, when you ask yourself, how rich are we really? How rich are we? How rich is a person that has nothing? How rich is a person that has everything? Who's the richest and who's the poorest? One day this father had, and he came from a very, very, very well-to-do area. And one day a father and his very, very rich family took the son on a trip to the country with a firm proposal to show him how poor people can be. He wanted to teach a lesson to the children growing up with a silver spoon in their mouth. You know, he wanted to teach a lesson. And so they spent all day and all night on this farm of a very poor family. This is a unique story because, you know, if you can imagine driving up in a Bentley and then putting on overalls and working in the fields and working, you know, like a farmer does. Even today, farmers with all the equipment that they have, it's a hard job. It's from morning to night. And so when they got back from their road trip and their trip, the father asked his son, so how was the trip? What'd you think? And the son said, you know, it was great, Dad. And did you see and did you know how poor people can live and how hard it is to survive? And he said, yeah. And, well, what else did you learn? The father said. So the son answered, well, I saw that we have a dog at home and they have 4. We have a pool that reaches to the middle of the garden from one side of the yard to the other. They have a creek that has no end. We have imported lamps in the garden. They have stars we can't see. Our patio reaches to the front yard. They have the whole horizon. When the little boy was finished, his father was speechless, as you would be, as I would be. He says to the son, wow. And the son says, thanks, Dad, for showing me how poor we are. So it's the perspective. Isn't it true that it all depends on the way you look at things? It really is. It really comes down to that. You know, if you have friends and love family members and your health is relatively well to good, and you got good humor and you keep a positive attitude about things and you laugh, man, you got everything. You can't buy those things. The guys who were stuck in Hanoi Hilton in the Vietnam War, many of you don't remember that because some of you weren't alive. They were stuck in the Hanoi Hilton, American soldiers, mostly all flyboys that were shot down, either by the Navy or the Air Force. And some of them were in there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, incarcerated in black dungeon cells with no lights and no windows. They broke their kneecaps and their feet and their hands and their shoulders and their ribs. They beat them up and tortured them. But one of the leaders of that group, when the war ended in Vietnam and they came home, one of the leaders was asked a question: how could you have lived through that? How come you obviously had to give up secrets? Obviously your torture was too great and torment was too long. And he said, you got to survive. I had to tell them what they needed to hear, and I told them what they needed to hear, and I don't regret it. I don't feel like I'm a traitor. But the one thing that they could never get from me, they could take my life and they could take my blood and they can take my sweat and they can cut my feet off and they can cut my eyes out. They can do whatever they want to do. But what they can't take from me is my honor. Wow. You see, you got everything. These are things that nobody can take. You may have all the material possessions that you can imagine, provisions for the future and everybody around you. But if you are poor of spirit, you have nothing. So I challenge you this weekend and today to look for the good things in life, the serendipities of your life, the things that happen when you least expect them to happen, when you most need them to happen. The times of your life when you don't have it, but you need it. And just out of the blue, it arrives for you. Those are called the serendipities of life, the good things of life. The good things that you and I, no matter how tough we have it, we don't have it that bad. If you just open your eyes, your ears, and open your heart and look at things from a different point of view, you too can get out of the deep well of hell that the giant mule fell through. And with a little bit of dirt and stomping and dirt and stomping and dirt and stomping and hard work and effort, never giving up, the well filled with dirt, and the mule stepped right out. www.thepowerofvoices.com, Friday time. Hey, it's a good time. The weekend's here. You're going to have a great time. This is Jesse Terrero. We're on Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. Every single day, we are straight on the point. We are live at 5, and you can check us out all in the social networking digital world. We love you. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. And always remember, the brown beauty, when not on duty, is off duty. See ya.